Hello, I am Aminata. I am an NFGM EU Senior Ambassador and co-president of the NFGM EU network. I am an anti-FGM activist originally from Guinea, but based in the UK where I work as a social worker in child protection. For the past 10 years, I have been involved in awareness raising around FGM and its impact on women and girls and the community at large. Today, I would like to share with you some advice that will help you in your engagement with women and girls in communities affected by FGM. First of all, keep in mind the migration context of the people you are talking with. Depending on how long they have been in the country, the type of conversation you would have can change a lot. We have cases of young girls who were born in EU countries and have undergone through FGM. So the conversation will be different for survivors who have just moved in from a high prevalence country. You may want to use the third person when talking about FGM because of its sensitivity. For example, don't say you might feel, and instead you could say one might feel or somebody could feel. Instead of saying when you undergo FGM, you could say when women and girls undergo FGM. Secondly, when engaging with an affected community member, it's important to establish trust and foster an open environment for dialogue. People from affected communities may live in close-knit social circles and possess limited knowledge of governments, institutions, and processes, which can sometimes breed distrust and skepticism. Focus on open-ended questions starting with when, what, how, and who, and avoid questions that start with why. For example, you could ask, how is FGM practiced in your family or community? Rather than, why does your family or community practice FGM? There are other ways to build trust with the communities you are working with. And as a general rule, don't ask personal questions without permission. For example, you can start with, do you mind if we talk more about your personal experience with FGM? You could also use word of encouragement. For example, I'm glad you came to see me today, and acknowledge what they are saying. You could say, I understand what you're telling me about. The idea here is to encourage them to talk more and to create a safe environment where they could feel at ease. It's also essential to be aware of the interpersonal dynamic between you as a professional and the person you are working with. Show curiosity rather than judgment about the situation. Try to understand the norm, the values of their communities, and their cultural backgrounds. Make them feel equal, as this will bridge the potential power imbalance. Finally, a few more things to keep in mind. Avoid overpromising. It's important to be specific in what you can do for them and what you can't. Involve other professionals where necessary and follow up to keep building the relationship. Even where you can't help, have an open conversation and refer them to other relevant actors that can provide further support. For instance, you can refer to NGOs, charities, or social workers. In certain contexts, where there is a language or cultural barrier, use a cultural mediator to facilitate the engagement and avoid misunderstanding. It's all come down to know, understand, and respect the person you are working with and you try to engage with. To sum up, try to make the FGM affected person feel equal, at ease, and welcome. Manage the expectation. Be transparent. And where you can't help, try to refer their case to others who can support them further. Knowing your audience also means reflecting on your own role as a professional. It is as much about you as it is about them.